You're watching TOON Army TV. This is the match review. Newcastle United have beaten Burnley by 3-1 at St James's Park this evening. A dominant display by Newcastle. I thought we played really well throughout the whole 90 minutes. We were asking for a response after what's been a very disappointing couple of weeks. No shots on target and a bit of an embarrassment against Newport despite getting through. Burnley, I said in the match preview that they're not a difficult side. You only make it difficult if you don't try and you don't put the defence under pressure. And we did that right from the get-go. When I seen ASM back in the side, you instantly think that we're going to do something. We're going to be more of a threat. And we certainly were in the match. I would like to have seen more shots on target in the first half. But we got that goal through ASM. And what a great goal it was, by the way. I'll talk about it in a second. Second half, Burnley did come out in the first sort of 15 minutes. They looked a threat. We were on the back foot, and Burnley, they did punish with a good equaliser from themselves, and then we managed to get back in the lead with Callum Wilson being in the right place at the right time. If you pay 20 million quid for an England international striker who can put the ball in the back of the net, that's exactly what you get from Callum Wilson. He's a real focal point, and he puts himself around the box where you want him to be to gobble up chances if nobody's picking him up. And then we wrapped it up from the penalty spot with Callum Wilson scoring his second of the game and his fourth goal in a Newcastle United shirt. And what a great start he's had as a TOON player, and long may it continue. And I have to say, it was a dominant display by us. I think Burnley, they were okay in fits and starts, but Burnley are Burnley, they're not exactly a difficult side. Now, Sean Dyche, good manager, but I think he was let down tonight by his defence. But I don't care, because for me, I wanted to see a better all-round showing from the lads, because I've said before, we're capable of so much more. We've got to win our home games against clubs like Burnley, and we really did put them to the sword tonight. We didn't mess around, and especially 1-1, it could have been a different story. Burnley may have went on to win the game, but we showed real steel, real determination, real resilience, and managed to get the two all-important goals in the second half and kill it off. And I have to say, there was a lot of pressure on Steve Bruce going into this match. Yeah, you think, how mad is that? Steve Bruce at the time picking up 4 points from 9 available. He's now got, of course, 7 from 12 available. And they were saying if Steve Bruce didn't get a result tonight, then he would be called to be sacked. Now, in the week, I was thinking it's quite justified. But going into the match, I was like, if we don't win, I don't really want to see him sacked too early, because the lads need to bed in, they need to gel, and they need to get to know how Steve Bruce wants to play his football. And don't get us wrong, it's a good result against Burnley. It is Burnley. There's more to come, but at least he's got more to think about in terms of the international break. We're better off now. We're in the top 6 and we're looking good. And I have to say, ASM was my man of the match. He made one and he scored one. That's all you expect, from an attacking right winger. And I just felt like he was more into the match. I felt like he was the one standout player in the game that actually looked really, really good. I thought Joelinton, he was quite good in fits and starts. He had a couple of chances. And I have to say, Wilson, what more can I say about him? You know what I mean? Burnley, honestly, don't think they'd really done too much. Yes, they had a ball which was put in the back of the net in the first half. It was offside. But going into the game, I'll run through the game for you right now. So the starting lineup was Carl Darlow in net. The back four was Emil Kraft, Federico Fernandez, Fabian Schär, and Jamal Lewis. So Federico Fernandez and Fabian Schär were sort of the back two, because Captain Jamal Lascelles was injured, and Kraft was also in for Manquillo as he played a full 90 minutes against Newport. In the midfield was Isaac Hayden, John Joe Shelvey, Jeff Hendrick, Joelinton, and Alan St-Maximin, with Callum Wilson sort of being the focal point, or you could say Joelinton, whichever way you look at it, in a 4-4-2 formation. And John Joe Shelvey was the captain on the evening. Now, he is obviously second in line if Captain Jamal Lascelles is injured. I thought Shelvey he was a bit meh at times, wasn't he? He wasn't fantastic, but it doesn't really matter. We got the job done. But looking at that lineup, I was happy with it. ASM, when you see him in the side, you think, yeah, we're definitely going to do something. Miggy, I think he was right to be dropped. I said that in the preview. He hasn't really been pulling up any trees. He's been a bit low on confidence. He's not really doing what we expect of him. And yeah, maybe it was the right decision. Now, going into the game, Pope made a mistake from our counter-attack, and ASM tried to close him down, and he ended up having to sort of save for a corner to Newcastle. Good start by us. That's what you want, a fast start. And then going into the 4th minute, Ashley Barnes, he picks out O'Neill on the counter-attack, and he as he gets the ball, O'Neill, he has a shot at Caldolo. He has to make a really good dive and save to tip that ball for a corner, and then from the original corner of Burnley, they managed to save it, and Darlow claims it. On the 14th minute, we'll start to dominate, and we'll get that goal through ASM. So basically, the ball over the top, in the middle of the park, and Wilson heads the ball to ASM. He beats the Burnley player, and he manages to find ASM, who just runs down that midfield, and he tries to take on the Burnley defence. As he does, he takes on a couple of tackles, and he manages to take a couple of touches around the box, and he fires into the bottom right-hand corner past Pope, and it's a great finish. It really is, and ASM was lively. I thought Pope was a bit unfortunate because the Burnley defence didn't help matters, but listen, I'll take it. A 1-0 up, and it's something to hold on to try and maybe go on and get that second goal. And then on the 29th minute, so near the half-hour mark, Shelby, he whips the ball in. Wilson gets his head onto it, and it goes wide. And it's unlucky by Wilson. It's left wide of the left-hand post. Should have been 2-0, but we'll go on to play better throughout the game. 33rd minute, Fabian Schär, he has a bit of an injury problem with Tarkowski. So Burnley have a corner, and Burnley are trying to attack it, and then Fabian Schär's trying to get rid of it, but he was okay to continue. And then on the 34th minute, Ashley Barnes puts Burnley level, but it was offside when a ball gets fired in, and it reaches Ashley Barnes, who is definitely offside. It goes to VAR, and he puts it into the bottom left-hand corner past Darlow, and it is the correct decision because he's just straight offside at that moment. But it was alarm bells because Burnley, they were telling us they're in a game, they want to get back into it, and I had that sort of in the back of my head that Burnley, are one of those sides that'll do so. And then on 36 minutes, Joe Linton gets a needless yellow card. For throwing the ball away. Don't do it, you don't need to do it. We're 1-0 up, don't lose your temper, and we'll go into half-time 1-0 up. And I was saying to myself, we need to get this goal in the second half. Burnley, they'll come out with, and they certainly did in the second half. Burnley come out with a game plan, and Jamal Lewis was booked on 49 minutes. Bit daft, really, and that's our second yellow card of the game. And then on 51 minutes, ball in for Burnley. Chris Wood, he heads towards goal. Darlow with a very good save, a good reaction. I think he should do better with that. If he guides it, maybe bottom left, top right, whatever, I think he scores that, but maybe it's coming a little bit too quick, so a bit of relief there for the TOON. And then on the 54th minute, Kraft, he intercepts a challenge for Chris Wood. He's just about to pull the trigger, and he blocks at the final moment. Some good work, between Barnes and Chris Wood. Burnley starting to really crank up the pressure. Then on 54 minutes, Steve Bruce makes his first sub, and that is Fabian Schär comes off for Mancure because Scher's not really fully 100% after the challenge of Tarkowski in the first half, and Mancure comes on for the last half an hour, 35 minutes. And then on 59 minutes, Burnley, they get a corner. It is tipped over by Darlow, and then from the initial corner, Burnley get their equaliser. Comes into the box, it gets cleared, and then it finds its way to another Burnley player. They cross it in, and it comes off a head, and then Westwood, just inside the box from our left-hand side, he literally just wellies it straight into the bottom right-hand corner, and it's 1-1. And I have to say they deserve it, because the way we just sat back in that second half, we got punished, and let's be fair, it was just as good as ASM's goal. So what a good goal by Westwood. But that gave us the kick up the arse to go for it in the second half and get that second goal, because drawing 1-1 with Burnley isn't exactly fantastic. And then we do actually instantly equalise on the 64th minute. Callum Wilson, works ever so hard to get us, back in front. So ASM, he picks up the ball on the right-hand side. He takes on the Burnley defence, and he just whips it across the box, and nobody's picking up Callum Wilson, and he just taps it into an empty net past helpless Nick Pope into the bottom left-hand corner, and it's a good finish. 2-1. We're sort of caught Burnley cold, and then Steve Bruce, he makes the changes. ASM is sort of struggling. He's like, you know what I mean. He's not really feeling it. He's not fully match fit, and ASM goes off, and Fraser comes on, and he makes a real impact when he does come on the pitch. And then 3 minutes later, Fraser was part of the reason we got the penalty. So a penalty to us when Nick Pope makes a big mistake. He misjudges the ball, and you would say it's poor by the Burnley defence, but Nick Pope tries to claim the ball and he takes out Fraser, and it is a Stonewall penalty, and it's the right call by the referee. And Ryan Fraser steps up, puts it in the middle of the goal. Nick Pope no chance, he goes one way, and we're 3-1 up and we're comfortable, I would say. We pretty much dominated Burnley, and I feel sorry for Nick Pope in the game because the Burnley defence at times were at 6s and 7s, and he is a good keeper. He's going to make it look bad for the goals that he conceded, but it's Burnley, isn't it? And we'll just see out the game. There was one final sub by Steve Bruce in the 90th minute, and that was Joe Linton off, who had a very good game, by the way. I didn't think he played too bad. He had some decent chances, apart from the daft yellow card that he picked up. He actually was pretty good again, so good to see him that he's starting to improve. And Sean Longstaff come on, and instantly he nearly made an impact. He nearly got us a fourth goal. We had 4 minutes of stoppage time, but let's be honest, it was a dominant display by the TOON, and we're seeing more efforts on goal, more shots, at the keeper, and it's what I expect against clubs like Burnley, and I'm pleased. It's 3 points. We're on 7 points now. We're in the top 6. Of course, it'll change. We'll probably end up going a bit further down the table when the other teams play, but we can only focus on ourselves. I thought ASM again was man of the match. He scored one, made one. What more can you ask? It was a horrible night, but listen, 3 points is 3 points in this league, and we can see why Burnley are in trouble, because they don't exactly have the best side. They have a good manager, but they don't play the best attractive of football. They did give us a scare in the second half. 1-1, it could have went either way. But when you're the home side, you've got to dictate play. You've got to get at teams, and that's exactly what we've done. And I'm pleased. And Steve Bruce now can live to fight another day in terms of his job. But I thought there was some definite good performances. I thought Hendrick wasn't very good, by the way, on the night. I thought he's definitely wasted on that right-hand side. I don't know why Steve Bruce plays him on the wing. For me, he's not a winger. You put him more than number 10 or him, anywhere in that midfield, he's actually a lot better. Shelby was a bit quiet, but I thought Wilson, fantastic. 4 goals already. I can't say any more for what a good sign he's been. And Fraser, once he's fully match fit, we're looking good. Do you know what I mean? We're not as bad as what people make us out to be. We just need to stay patient with Steve Bruce. We need to stay patient with the squad, because we know what we can do. We know what we can bring to the table. You've got to remember we've played 2 games every week, and now we've got the international break. We've got a couple of weeks before the next game against Manchester United, and then we're only playing 1 game a week, so the pressure will be on Steve Bruce as it's only 1 game. But I think it's good. It gives the lads a bit of a breather. We can bring players back, and I do think Steve Bruce has had a little bit of rough press. I get it. The football isn't great. It wasn't fantastic tonight on the eye, but we got the job done, and that's what you want to see. We have been critical of not taking my chances, but tonight we have, and that's what you've got to do in this league. But anyway, I'll shut up now, and it's been a good performance. Man of the match, ASM, and I'll be back soon with some more content. So make sure you subscribe, you turn on the notification bell, and you comment down below who was your man of the match. And thank you so much for watching. Keep it tuned, and I'll see you later.